Okay, so dealing with the Quadrant Police Part 2. As I said in the last video, if you've not watched it, then if you've got a spare 6 minutes, just have a look at it. I don't spend time arguing about dog training methods online anymore. Life's too short. I have done it. I've done it. I used to... I'll talk a little bit about that in a second. Alright. We're going to look at classical conditioning this. It's important that we understand what classical conditioning is, and it's basically the associations that we build between certain activities and us. So a classical conditioning element of your dog learning, one element of it is associating the word sit with the action of sitting. Okay, so that's the classical part of it, and it's not oversimplifying it. It's the associations that are made. That's classical conditioning. So it's Pavlov with the dog and the bell, okay, and the dog salivating. So that's the experiment, and that's an abomination of that. I've how described it like that. So you've got the association between something in the environment and an action. Okay, so the ice cream van would be a good example of that. We associate the ice cream van with the ice cream. Okay. And then our behaviour of going towards the ice cream van is reinforced by the ice cream itself if we want ice cream. So that's the first part. The second part of classical conditioning is the feelings that go with it. Okay, so that's from a learning theory, from a behavioural model. You hear a piece of music that you like your favourite piece of music, and you get that emotional response to it. So trying to think a couple of examples. The theme from NYPD Blue is one for me. I just hear that and I'm like, oh, that's wonderful. All right. A certain smell. So your an ex-girlfriend or an ex-boyfriend's scent, their perfume or their aftershave. That goes on. Okay. Now, if I mention your favourite teacher from school, if I mention their name, that feeling that you get, that good feeling, that's classical conditioning. Similarly, if I mention the most horrible boss you've ever had, that feeling that you get. So this is the important part. If our dog associates us with saying a certain word or moving in a certain way, and that means something painful, uncomfortable or scary for the dog, that's then starting to remove elements of our relationship. It's breaking trust. So this is one of the main reasons that I choose not to do it. Okay, is the dog's making those associations with us. I remember, in fact, I'm not going to give you that example. Okay, a little bit too personal. All right. So hearing the theme for EastEnders, okay, I cannot stand EastEnders. So when that music comes on, oh my god, just turn it off. Okay, I like watching the football. So the European Championships have been the last few weeks. I like watching them. Don't like listening to the pundits. So generally turn the volume down to a low level so I can kind of hear the crowd and can hear it chirping, but I'm not really interested in what they say. I don't want to watch it silently, because I want to get involved in the atmosphere if I'm watching it on television. And I don't like football, okay, for a variety of reasons and associations. Okay, so that's all going on there, and this is one of the main reasons why I don't use adverse or aversive training methods and tools with my dog and the dogs that I work with, and why I advocate using positive ones. So going back to that good teacher at school, I make positive associations with the dogs that I work with, and generally without even touching them. And the reason that happens is that the dog starts going, my mum and dad are super cool when they're with you, everybody's relaxed, you don't try and touch me, and good things happen when you're around. And I go, yeah, cool, yep. So when that happens, if that's your starting point, then we can build from there. Okay, now going back to how our social media habits can teach us about this. So this is across the board. This is how this happens, right? Every time. This is why I don't discuss them anymore. I certainly don't discuss them on my own page, and I don't allow discussion on my own page about aversive training methods. So posed a question yesterday. This person came on and commented on it. So they commented on it from the get-go. I'd posed a question. And the question was, if you could go back in time or could advise your pre-dog guardian self, go back before you got your first dog, what advice would you give yourself, or what's the first thing that you wish you'd known? That was the question. So this person immediately came on. Their opening gambit was not answering any of those questions. It was adversarial from the start. Because it's adversarial, then I go, yeah, cool, here we go. All right, this is another one of these. So even just those words has already gone back to my learning history. I then go, this is another troll. This is somebody that's come on and wants to give me a hard time. Okay, I can draw boundaries. This is my life. This is my house. Okay, this phone lives with me. Okay, and I can cut off anybody using it. Right, I don't have to take you on. So I didn't take the person on. Because I didn't take the person on and I didn't answer their questions, I was a little bit sarcastic, which is, yeah, it's my prerogative. You come to my house, that's what happens when you come to my house, okay, if I'm in the mood. And I didn't answer their questions, so they came back on and asked more, okay. And because they weren't getting what they were wanting, they started getting frustrated. So that's emotional function of extinction. Okay, I'm trying the behaviour and I'm not getting what I want. And we get frustrated a lot of the time, we get angry as well. And with 90% of the time, this is how this goes. Person comes on, starts trying to argue with me. I either delete their comments or don't argue with them or give them a sarcastic response back. And that's not achieving the result of their behaviour, okay, or the function of their behaviour. They're looking to get me to engage with them and get me to answer their questions, and because I'm not doing that, they then get frustrated, they then start getting angry, and then the name calling starts. So because that interaction between the two of us is adversarial, their aggression, and it's just words at this point, their aggression starts. All right, now, this is the really funny bit about this. When I cut people off, and this has happened in the past, I've worked in this for a long time, I have had people phoning me up, actually phoning me up and shouting down the phone because I won't engage with them online. Okay, I just put the phone down on them and block them now. If I block people on Facebook, they will then try and contact me on Instagram. When I block them on Instagram, they look up my website, and I've had texts, messages, WhatsApp messages, or emails from people. So that's how insidious using aversive training methods, okay, or teaching methods, and I'm not trying to teach them there. That's just an interaction which they feel entitled to have with me, okay. So now imagine that's your relationship with your dog, with your significant other, with your kids, okay, with your colleagues. How horrible to live your life like that, okay. So just some thoughts there, okay. And if we're careful with if we're thoughtful and observant with how people interact with others and how we interact with the world, we can learn this stuff. And then you start learning from books, read articles, hopefully watch videos like this from me and other trainers, and you go, cool, I can start applying that to other areas of my life, not just with my dog. Okay, so anywho, there we go. All right, tried to keep it short, but we're at 9 minutes, but just some thoughts. All right, much love to you, catch you next time.